Hey everyone, Luna here, and it has come to my attention that now that the new moon phase has begun to wax again, that now is a good time during this waxing phase to do spells of attraction, and not just affection and things like that, but like getting a job, wanting a new adventure, things like that. However, love spells are the ones that I have been hearing the most about, usually during this time. Now, I was reading, and what brought this on was I've been reading this book, the Wicca Spell book by Jarena Dunwich, and this isn't a book review per se. It's just the first couple of pages, because I haven't read this since high school, so I wanted to reread it. The first couple of pages, after What is Magic and an introduction to it, her grimoire, which is, I believe, the first chapter of the book, has the Wiccan Rede, and it harm none, do what thou wilt. And then she goes on to explain that that means that when doing magic and when doing spells and when casting, to try and harm none. Now, I have my own issues with that. I mean, let's see, the words that she uses. What she says here is, be free to practice the arts of magic, develop and utilize your psychic powers, and do your own thing, provided that no harm comes to anyone as a result. It's imperative to bear in mind the Rede before performing any magical spells, especially those which are unethical or manipulative. If you violate the Rede, even unintentionally, bad karma will instantly come back to you, whether you believe that in it or not. And she goes on toward the law of retribution, which is the threefold law, or law of three. The reason I disagree with this is that no spell that you do, especially in attraction spells, trying to get a job and things like that, someone's going to get hurt. Regardless. Someone else is trying to go for that job. If you're going to an interview, you're not the only one being interviewed, obviously. If you get the job, the people who didn't get that job are then hurt. However, it's long and convoluted, but that's just one area that I didn't agree with. Now, she did mention that if it was unethical and manipulative, that it was against the Rede. Now, obviously, this only pertains to Wiccans. There's the common misconception that if you are a general pagan, you have to follow the Rede. But if you are not part of the Wiccan path, that really doesn't pertain to any other pagans. Like, a lot of people have problems with Dorothy Morrison doing her hexes. She's got a line of voodoo hexes, and people are upset about that because it goes against the Rede. However, she's not a Wiccan, so she deals with her own issues. Also, karmic law is not defined properly in this, but we're not getting into that. My thing is that shortly after that, she has several pages on attracting a mate, love spells, and not just attracting a random person, find someone meant for me. There are actual spells meant for specific people, how to attract a certain person, write their name, their astrological sign, their birth date, and just, it's very elaborate, manipulative spells. She immediately contradicts herself. It's like, breaking the Wiccan Rede is, you'll get retribution through karmic law, and not to, when doing spells and things, not to manipulate others, whether intentionally or unintentionally. She says this herself, but then goes on to add spells that are meant to manipulate people. so that they love you. And that, in essence, is unethical, in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. It's unethical to manipulate people to your will. It's against the Wiccan Rede to manipulate people to your will. And love spells do just that. When someone, and I've had this done before, when I first started the craft, I was about 13 years old, and I had a girl come up to me, I want so-and-so to fall in love with me. I'm like, you are 13 years old. 1, no. 2, no. I'm not going to manipulate someone's will. You might get fed up with them in a couple of weeks. 8th grade, nobody lasts longer than a few days. So that's just one thing that was on my mind that I wanted to share. Kind of think about it. Tell me what you guys think about manipulative spells, whether or not you follow the Wiccan Rede, whether or not it pertains to you, regardless of spiritual path. I am Wiccan. It's something that I follow, but at the same time, there are loopholes to that. I find flaws in it. So, just a few thoughts. Kind of think it over. Give me a response. I'd like to know what you think. And you guys have brightest blessings and a good night.